Looking at the election of 2004, the Republicans nominate George W. Bush for a second term. The Democrats nominate John Kerry, a senator from Massachusetts. And that's John Kerry. Bush wins the Electoral College 286 to 252, still a pretty close election in the Electoral College. He does win the popular vote this time by about 3.5 million. A good chunk below the average that I've been telling you of 5 to 7 million throughout the 20th century. That also at the time set a record for the number of voters voting for president in American history. There's the Electoral College. Pretty solid win for the South, Midwest, all going to George W. The Northeast and the West Coast again going to the Democrats, and this time John Kerry. George W.'s 4 years, second term, pretty uneventful, nothing like the September 11th terrorist attacks. Towards the end of his term, the recession gets started, and the recession will last until about 2016, 2017. So 2008 comes out. George W., of course, can't run again. He served 2 terms. The Democrats nominate Barack Obama, a senator from Illinois. The Republicans nominate John McCain, a senator from Arizona. Barack Obama on the left, John McCain on the right. Obama wins the Electoral College. It's a normal election, no third-party candidate interfering this time or causing a different outcome. He wins the Electoral College 365 to 173 and wins the popular vote by about 10 million. So it was a pretty high popular vote in 2008 for Barack Obama. There's the Electoral College. The Midwest and stuff still voting Republican, Northeast, but it spreads out into Wisconsin and Iowa, going to the Democrats. Florida also switches and goes to the Democrats in this election. Major issues under Obama. March of 2010, the Affordable Health Care Act was passed, best known as Obamacare. Basically, requires Americans to have health care. If you don't, you end up paying an extra tax. That did go to the Supreme Court. A lot of people said it was unconstitutional. Supreme Court ruled it's nothing more than a tax, and the government has the power to tax. September 11th, 2012, there's an attack on the American embassy in Benghazi, Libya. The Obama administration first denied that it was a terrorist attack. However, with the fact that it was on the anniversary of 9/11, and then with more investigation, it turns out it was a Muslim terrorist attack against the U.S. in the city of Benghazi. During the attack, the U.S. ambassador was killed, and so were 2 CIA contractors. The thing was, President Obama didn't do anything about the attack, and he continued to deny it was a terrorist attack. Later, it was determined, like I said, to be a terrorist attack. So this was one of the low points of President Obama's presidency. It's about the time he reaches his lowest approval rating. Right? There's a picture of the attacks on the Benghazi compound where our ambassador stayed. 2012, Democrats nominate President Obama for a second term. The Republicans nominate a senator from Utah, Mitt Romney. That's Mitt Romney. Obama wins 332 to 206, wins the popular vote by just under 5 million, 65 to 60. So quite a downturn in the popular vote in 2012, losing about half of his margin of victory from 2008. And there's the Electoral College with the Republicans picking up a couple of states, but it's pretty close in the Electoral College as it was in 2008, about the same margin. Not much else goes on during President Obama's second term. The recession continues, and that's what dominates his presidency for the second term. Election of 2016 comes about. The Republicans nominate Donald Trump, who has been quite famous for decades now, appearing on television shows and movies. There's a picture of Trump. The Democrats nominate Bill Clinton's wife, and she was the senator from New York, and then the Secretary of State for President Obama. And there's a picture of Hillary. President, or well, soon to be President Trump, Donald Trump wins the Electoral College 304 to 227. He did, however, lose the popular vote by a little less than 3 million. So it's a very close election there, but he won many states in close elections. The thing that really cost him the popular vote was getting crushed in the biggest state, California. California voted overwhelmingly for Hillary Clinton. And there is the Electoral College. You can see Pennsylvania voted for Donald Trump, first time since I believe it was President Reagan that Pennsylvania went to the Republicans. Florida also switches back to the Republicans, and he carried several other states that were projected before the election to go to Hillary Clinton. California, like I said, heavily in Hillary's favor, as well as New York, and that those two states really, if you take them away, Donald Trump won the popular vote in the rest of the country.